Let's lock in. This topic is a really important part of PE, and we're going to talk about how does physical activity improve your life and what happens when you don't move enough. OCR says you need to know what is meant by health, fitness, and well-being, the physical, emotional, and social benefits of activity, the consequences of a sedentary lifestyle, and the basics of diet, nutrition, and hydration, including how they affect performance. So the big picture here is simple. Health is broader than just sports. Fitness is about coping with physical demands, and well-being is the overall quality of how you feel and function. Let's start with the key definitions. As you can see on the screen, we have the definition for health, the definition for fitness, and the definition for well-being. Yes, health is the bigger umbrella and fitness sits underneath it. But it's worthy to note that a person can be fit for their sport, but still not be fully healthy overall. Now let's look at the physical benefits of activity. OCR wants you to know the physical links with injury, coronary heart disease, blood pressure, bone density, obesity, type 2 diabetes, posture, and fitness. So, NHS says people who are regularly active have a lower risk of coronary heart disease and stroke. And NHS England states that the physical inactivity contributes to a substantial number of premature CHD deaths. So in PE language, exercise helps to keep the cardiovascular system healthier. Meanwhile, inactivity increases this risk. Next, let's look at the link between physical activity and blood pressure. So a physical benefit of activity is that being active can help to keep blood pressure healthier. NHS blood pressure guidance includes regular exercise among the lifestyle changes that help lower blood pressure. A clean exam application would be someone who does regular aerobic activity is more likely to manage blood pressure better than someone who is very inactive. Next, we've got bone density. Physical activity, especially weight bearing and resistance exercise, helps improve or maintain bone density. The NHS states that weight bearing and resistance exercise are particularly important for improving bone density and helping to prevent osteoporosis. Next, obesity and type 2 diabetes. Regular activity helps to reduce the risk of obesity and type 2 diabetes. The NHS says exercise can reduce the risk of type 2 diabetes and have a lower risk of obesity because it improves the metabolism of glucose. That means movement helps with energy balance and how the body handles sugar. Next, we have fitness. This one is very straightforward. If you train regularly, your fitness is more likely to improve. Physical activity develops and maintains physical and mental function. And OCR includes fitness itself as one of the outcomes that students must understand. Next, we have injury and posture. OCR includes injury and posture in this topic as a physical benefit of exercise. So in GCSE PE terms, the idea is that regular activity helps the body become stronger, better conditioned, and more prepared for movement, while long periods of inactivity and sitting can leave the body less ready for physical demands. On posture, OCR includes it directly, and the NHS guidance notes that prolonged sitting and poor posture can contribute to discomfort or pain, especially around the neck and the upper back. So a simple sporting example here would be a student who stays active, strengthens their core, and moves regularly is likely to cope better with posture demands in daily life and sports more than a student who spends most of the day sitting and doing very little movement. So this is the type of exam application, the type of practical application that OCR likes to see. Next, let's look at emotional benefits of activity. This is how activity affects the mind. So we have self-esteem and confidence. When people improve, achieve goals, and feel more capable physically, their self-esteem and confidence often improve and rise. The NHS even uses joining an exercise class as an example of a challenge that can help to build self-esteem. In PE exam language, success in activity can make someone feel better about themselves and more willing to take part again in the activity. Next, we have stress management. Exercise is also a great stress management tool. Every Mind Matters says activity release feel good hormones, which can reduce stress and anxiety and can help people switch off from worries. So, a good application would be a student who goes for a run, plays football, or trains at the gym may feel calmer afterwards because physical activity helps them manage stress better. Next, we have image. OCR uses the word image, which in this topic is usually taught as body image, or how someone feels about the way they look and what their body can do. A sensible, careful way to teach this and to understand this is healthy physical activity can help people feel better about their body, especially when the focus is on function, confidence, and feeling strong, rather than just chasing unrealistic appearance standards, rather than just look maxing for the sake of it, which is just pointless and is not rooted in health. The Mental Health Foundation notes that exercise can help people feel better about their bodies. One important point here is that this does not mean sport automatically fixes every body image issue. It means activity can support more positive self-viewing, especially when it is enjoyable, consistent, and not built around shame or comparison. Next, let's look at social benefits of activity. So this is what activity does for relationships and belonging. First, we have friendship. So clubs, teams, PE lessons, and gym classes create chances to make friends. That might be through training together, sharing goals, traveling to games, or simply spending time with others in a positive setting. Social benefits of activity include the opportunity to socialize and make friends. Next, we have belonging to a group. Sport can create a strong sense of belonging. Being part of a team, a class, a dance group, or a club can make someone feel really included and valued. This matters especially for young people because feeling part of something can improve confidence and motivation to stay active. Next, we have loneliness. Physical activity can also help reduce loneliness. NHS Every Mind Matters says activity can reduce loneliness by offering new ways to meet people and stay connected. Now let's look at the consequences of a sedentary lifestyle. The NHS describes inactivity as a silent killer and says sedentary behavior such as sitting or lying down for long periods is bad for health. So in practical GCSE PE terms, a sedentary lifestyle can mean higher risk of obesity and related disease, lower fitness levels, poorer posture from too much sitting, lower confidence or self-esteem, more lethargy and less motivation. Lethargy just meaning being more tired, being more fatigued, and fewer social opportunities through activity. Balanced diet. What does it mean? The NHS Eat Well Guide says a healthy balanced diet means eating a wide variety of foods in the right proportion. So we've got two components of a balanced diet. We've got variety of foods, right proportion. A balanced diet is when we take these two to make a combination. So it's about wide variety of foods in the right proportions and consuming the right amount of food and drink to achieve and maintain a healthy body weight. So a balanced diet is not about banning foods or following extreme diet rules. It's about getting the body the right mix of nutrients that it needs to stay healthy, to recover properly, and to have enough energy for daily life and physical activity. Now let's look at the components of a balanced diet. Starting with carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are the body's main energy source. Main energy source. The NHS says starchy foods are a good source of energy and a main source of nutrients in the diet. In sport, this is the nutrient most directly linked to fuel for exercise, especially moderate to intense work. So if carbohydrate intake is too low, performers may feel flat, tired, or unable to maintain intensity. Next, we have protein. Protein is needed for growth, repair, and maintenance. So growth, repair, maintenance, especially of the muscles and bones. The British Nutrition Foundation says protein is essential for energy, growth, repair, and maintenance of the body. So in PE terms, protein is especially important after training because the body needs to repair and to adapt to go again. Next, we have fat. Fat is a concentrated source of dietary energy. So similar to carbs, it's a source of energy. The British Nutrition Foundation says fat provides around 9 kilocalories per gram. It helps to provide essential fatty acids and it helps to carry fat-soluble vitamins like vitamins A, D, E, and K. The NHS also notes that some fat is essential, but too much saturated fat is a problem. So in a balanced diet, fat is needed, just not in excess. Next, let's look at vitamins and minerals. Vitamins and minerals are needed in small amounts for the body to work properly and stay healthy. NHS guidance says most people should get them from a varied and balanced diet. In sport and physical activity, they support normal body functioning rather than acting as a direct fuel source like carbohydrates. Next, let's look at fiber. Fiber helps keep the digestive system healthy. It helps to move food through the gut and helps to maintain a healthy body weight. That means fiber supports overall health and good digestion, even though it is not there as a main energy source for exercise. And lastly, water and hydration. Water is essential. The NHS recommends around 68 cups or glasses of fluid a day as a guide, with more needed in hot conditions or if someone is being active for long periods of time. The British Nutrition Foundation says water is needed for many functions, including regulating body temperature, which can also be referred to as thermal regulation. It's also needed during physical activity and sports. It's also important to support brain function. So in a nutshell, when it comes to diet, hydration, and energy use in physical activity, it's important to understand this clear link. Carbohydrates provide the main fuel for exercise. Protein helps with growth and repair. Fat provides stored energy, and water helps the body function properly while active. Hydration is especially important because dehydration can impair physical and cognitive performance. And like we've already mentioned, water is needed for temperature regulation and activity. So if a performer is dehydrated, they may tire easier and earlier, they're going to feel less sharp, and they're going to struggle to perform at the highest level. It's also important to apply this topic to different age group because OCR says that you should be able to apply this topic to different age group. The general principle is that some activity is better than none at every age, but the needs and examples differ. Children and young people need activity that develops movement skills, muscular fitness, and bone strength, while adults and older adults should stay active for physical, mental, and social health. So for children and teenagers, you might talk more about bone density, fitness, friendships, and belonging through things like PE, clubs, and games. For adults, you might focus more on things like blood pressure, CHD risk, weight management, and stress. For older adults, things like social benefits like reducing loneliness and maintaining function becomes especially important too. OCR also says you should be able to respond to data about health, fitness, and well-being. That means reading the evidence and explaining what it shows. If data shows lower blood pressure or better fitness scores or healthier body composition or improved confidence and participation, you should link those changes back to the correct area, whether it be physical, emotional, or social. For example, if a student begins exercising 3 times a week and later reports less stress, more friends at their clubs, and better stamina in games, that is not just one benefit. That is emotional, social, and physical benefit all at once. And that's the sort of linked, layered answer that OCR really likes. And if you want to continue practicing, because I do understand that this topic can be a little bit complex and has a lot of layers and links between it. So if you want to practice to really hone down on your exam technique, then make sure to check out our platform for a bunch of resources on this topic and other topics that will help you get the highest grade. Check out www.superpeonline.com, the best PE platform in the world. I'll see you in the next video.